If you're an Aikido instructor, what do you emphasize with your white belt students? And when new people enter your dojo, what age group are they usually? And if you're not an instructor, what really resonates with you? What do you do at your dojo that keeps you wanting to come back for more? What interests you? What's exciting? What's fun? Today's video is from a class during our 5-day summer camp in Los Angeles last August. It was a white belts only class. Most of the participants were in their 20s and early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. It was the third day of camp and towards the end of class, so they were getting a little bit fried, so to speak, hard to focus. So my goal was to simply get them to move, keep moving, and to keep them flexible, and of course, to keep them safe. Excuse me. We had been working on Ikkyo and spatial awareness. So at this point in the class, I switched to a variation of Ikkyo that I liken to Tug-of-war. When you watch the video, it'll make sense. People usually have a lot of fun with this variation, and it's pretty dynamic. I also had a few participants on Zoom that day. Some of them were members of my teacher training course. So at one point in the class, I came over to the camera to share with them my goal for the class and my thoughts on how to support the white belt participants in the program and in their progress. I hope today's video will give you some insight, inspiration, and motivation to help you make the most of your training and take your Aikido to the next level. Let's check it out.
Then yet another variation. Yes, yes, good. Just like you did. First one was fine. Boy, isn't that interesting. I don't know if I understood him correctly, but I think he was like, what? Was that the right ukemi? I think that's, yeah?
It was actually, that'd be a roll.
I see.
Yeah.
So the first one, he didn't have time to think, and he did beautifully. Second one, he was like thinking, and it wasn't quite as smooth as the first one. But anyway, so this time, let's give him a bobble or a wobble, right, by entering. And then let's sink back. So like, similar to Funakogi Undo, but with a turn. Yeah. But be careful of impact. Look at that. Just trip the alarms. He went so easily on the other ones. But this one, who wants like in the middle of a movement, right? And I sometimes use the analogy of trip the alarms when you're going into the bank and you're going to steal the money, you're the bank thief, and then suddenly you trip the alarms. Everything goes south from there. So just move your center in. Then imagine this like the Jo, and back. Thank you. And let me show you what I meant by like the Jo. So 8, right? Not so here, here, or I don't know if American kids play a lot of tug-of-war still, but we did when we were kids, when I was a kid. And in Japan, in the dojo, they would play tug-of-war because you had to really learn to use your center. You can't just pull like this. You gotta and lean back. So here to here. So with tug-of-war, at least my idea of it is that this is more important than this strength, right? I guess grip would be very important too. But God, this, being able to pull back with your center. So let's let the arms stay loose so that we don't trip the alarms for him. And just here. And it's possible that he won't do this beautiful, you know, swan dive on his stomach. Different ones of us are more comfortable falling and rolling and hitting the ground, or different people are more athletic than other people. become more comfortable in their body. So anyway.
Hey, we'll get back to the video in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a gift for joining us today. We want to give you a free resource, our Martial Arts First Class Checklist. It's a simple PDF guide. Whether you train with us in Los Angeles or at some other dojo in some other city, you'll find the checklist super helpful. It'll take the guesswork out of your first visit to a martial arts school, eliminating stress and helping you start out on the right foot. You can download it at aki-usa.org/first-class-checklist with hyphens in between. Or just click in the link in the description below. I hope you enjoy the gift and I hope you take action on it. Now let's get back to the video.
But you don't want to, wherever he's at, you don't want to take him backwards in his athleticism by tripping the alarms. So just in so that he wants to regain, and then allow him to regain and take him further. So also in tug-of-war, you go like this, and this, this, and this, and this. You don't go that, right? Because the rope doesn't have its own momentum, I think, right? Probably not. So you go like this, and then this. If you wanted to take it lower, you could go lower, 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 lower. So if you're an Aikidoka and you're used to Ikkyo, then of course, yeah, sure, it makes sense to do this then. But let's get rid of Ikkyo for a moment, all right? Here. Cool, not turning like this, not here. That's Ikkyo, nothing wrong with it, but let's study a different thing right now. Here. Ooh. Okay, I go ahead. And Zoom people, I think, well, we've got all three of you have a lot of years of experience, and hopefully you're able to hear me. What's going on here? Great. What's going on here is that I got here and I found a bunch of white belts, and the oldest one is 40. So really my objective tonight, so the class would have looked different if I had 5 or 10 black belts, or a whole bunch of people 50, 60 years old. Would have been different. What I want to do right now is stretch their brain, kind of, and just get them to move and to move in all different ways and pay attention to their partner and get their workout, because again, they're in their 20s and 30s, and I was an endorphin junkie in my 20s and 30s, so I think that's what they want. So anyway, just thought I would fill you in on that so you can see what's going on, since some of you are in the teacher training program as well. Yamaguchi Sensei often said, get rid of your habits. It's good exercise when we do the classical techniques, but then also when we do a lot of variations. And it's even good to have teachers that teach you things that contradict directly to what your teacher is saying. You know, the thing yesterday with the arm must be on top, and you heard me for months and months say arm must be below. But if your brain is flexible, then you go, oh, well, this is completely different. Okay, I'll try it above. So this is so important, because you can never guarantee that your attacker is going to come like this or like that. And when you first start Aikido, for example, munetsuki is munetsuki. Strike to the midsection. They're all the same. Then you train longer. Oh, no, they're not all the same. What if your attacker's knee is hurting a little bit and they're kind of protecting it and they don't want to put much weight on it? Then it maybe comes at a tiny bit different angle than this, right? So you start to see these subtleties, and if your brain gets used to being flexible early on, even though you're learning kata, so to speak, but there has to also be a flexibility, and then you've got a lot of possibilities.
In conclusion, I hope you found this helpful and interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments section, if you're a teacher, what really seems to work with your young white belts, if you have young white belts. And if you're a young white belt in your 20s or 30s, let me know what works for you, what you especially like doing at your dojo that your sensei does, or maybe even what you wish your sensei did do that they don't do. And let me know, of course, what seminars you plan on attending. You can check out my seminar schedule at leah-suzuki.com/seminars. Again, I want to give you a gift, my checklist called the 3 Lines of Equilibrium. It's from my paid online course called Proper Body Alignment in Movement, but it's free for you today as a thank you for watching my video. The checklist will help you identify and eliminate ineffective or harmful patterns of movement so that you can preserve your body, improve your technique, and continue training for years to come. Just click on the link below or type into your browser leah-suzuki.com/body alignment checklist. That's leah-suzuki.com/body alignment checklist with hyphens in between each word. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.